Today I'm going to be taking a look at the new MK Studio scenery for Fort Lauderdale, and I just kind of wanted to start up high here, getting an overview of the airport and seeing what all is here. And I'll tell you what, there is a lot here. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get around. I'm going to try and do a fast overview of the airport for you, but I'm going to try and cover as much as I can, as quickly as I can. So I'm going to start off here to the left. I have to say I like the wall here that's built around elevating the runway here on the taxiways. Get a good look at that there. The scenery, obviously the scenery starts with the wall. And then we'll shoot on around here to the side and kind of start working our way around the airport clockwise here. And look at all those wires down there. Alright, so we're coming over here to the side here. I wanted to start over this way. Let's turn a little bit more. I like that you have the tunnels, you have the signage of the streets there, you have a train over here, the tunnels go all the way through. You can see that there. I like the trees are part of the 2024 scenery, obviously. Well, some of the trees might be part of the MK Studio scenery, but tunnels look really good. I like that they just they didn't skimp on that. As you get over here, you can see there's a little break in the tunnels. Alright, so I like over here we have, you know, as every airport has, construction. It wouldn't be an airport if it didn't have construction going on, right? So it's a pile of gravel down there. We got a crane up here. All kinds of good stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and move into the airport itself. We got the parking structures over here. We have some cars. Give it some life. Of course, most of the cars are all just on the top floor, because that's what you're going to see mostly from the outside. But the other floors are in fact modeled. You can go into that space, so that's kind of cool. You have lots of trucks and equipment and all kinds of stuff scattered all around this airport. And we're going to go into a terminal for the G gates. Just to let you know, the G gates are where Air Transit, Flair, JetBlue International, Sunrise Airways, and other international flights come into. It is one of the terminals that does have a U.S. Customs. So if you're an international flight, you could be coming here into the G gates. And if we go into the terminal, we can see we have seats with trash cans, recycle bins. We have people in the terminal, which is always really nice, especially when you're looking at it from outside in the airplane, to see people scattered around the airport. Always looks nice. They have nice signage up there. I like the fact that the restaurants and things like that are not parallax scenery. It's actually space that you can go into. I do like that, and we'll see more of that throughout the airport. Again, you have this little shoe shop over here, and I'm getting into details, I know, and I'm trying to do this quickly, but you have a little shoe shop here, but it's actual space you can go into, not just a picture. Which I really like. I like it when developers do that. MK Studios always does a great job. You have G7 over here, and it looks like you can go into this little area over here. Let's go in here. And looks like a little waiting area of some sort. Not sure exactly what that's used for. And we'll jet on down here, just to give you a view of what it looks like going through. We have another, looks like shoe store, maybe some clothes and bags that you can buy. I like that. I like that they modeled that. I wonder if we can go in here. Oh yeah, sure enough, look at that. This is cool. I like that. I'm in this space now. That's cool. Alright, let's move on. You have some restrooms over here. I did go in there earlier. They're not modeled, sorry. Wouldn't that be cool if a scenery developer not only modeled the bathroom, but made it so you could flush a toilet or turn on a faucet? Oh man, we want a lot, don't we? Alright, so that's the G gates. We're going to jet on out of there. I think the next one are the E gates, Terminal 3. And let's go ahead and take a look at some stuff here. I did want to comment that the cars are modeled really nicely. They don't like pixelate. They're up nice and close. They look good still. I like the fencing. Looks really strong and sturdy there. Like it might be at a real airport. I did want to just kind of hop over here. So I really liked this little space here. You have some crates over there. Then this is like a little bus area. It's kind of secluded from the rest of the traffic. I just thought this was a nice little space. I liked how they modeled it with the hedges. They have the trees in there. Little bus stops, a couple buses in here. Thought it looked really nice. And then it goes back out onto the main road right over here. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on over. Actually, maybe I'll go underneath. Now, what is not modeled, it seems, is the walkways that go between the different gates here, or terminals. Those are not modeled, and let me just verify that by going in here. And sure enough, yeah, that's not modeled. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it's a big airport, and they have modeled quite a bit, so that's not anything concerning. But man, I'll tell you what, look at these ground textures, for instance. Let's go up high here. Look at the how nice and well used that looks. Just really looks good, and you have different things scattered all over the place. It really does add to the immersion. So the Echo gates, of course, Terminal 3 would be for American Airlines, Avalo, Azul, Flair, JetBlue, Porter, and Sun Country would be at these gates here. Sorry, I probably massacred that first airline, or second airline. American I didn't, but mostly, yeah, American, JetBlue, that kind of stuff would come here to the E gates. So let's go in and take a look. Again, more of the similar type seating. Again, this would probably be the doors that would go over to the other terminal, Terminal 4 right there, but again, we can't go through there. But again, these spaces are all modeled. Almost looks like that wine is individual too, but no, that is a picture, okay. But it looked really good. It was a good picture. We have information boards up here. Look really nice. If we get in there nice and tight, look at that. It doesn't really pixelate like others do. Again, bathrooms modeled there, at least labeled there. Little news area there. Now here's the thing, when I was looking at this terminal here, I noticed this little gate back here. I thought, I'll bet that's not modeled. But you know what? It is. I'm going to just jet on in here. Let's see, what gates are these? This is F. So yeah, E1 through 10 and F1 through 10 are in Terminal 3. So that makes sense now. So if we go up here and go around the corner, there's F1. And this, of course, would be the hall that you would take to go over to Terminal 2. But it's not modeled, if I recall correctly, all the way through. And, you know, you can see why they don't model these, because really there's not much here. So let's pop on out here. Now we're at the Echo Gates, which is also part of Terminal 3. And the Echo Gates would be the same airplane. Well, it's all part of Terminal 3. So Terminal 3 is over here. These are Echo, and then it goes on around to that side, which is the Foxtrot Gates. Okay. Again, that would be American, Avalo, Azul, Flare, JetBlue, Porter, and Sun Country for this Terminal 3. For those of you who want to make sure that you're docking at and going to the right gates. And we'll go in here and take a quick look. There is a GSX profile for this. Make sure you install that if you get the scenery. And we have more of the same. People are scattered about. So in other words, they didn't just model one or two terminals. Every single one is modeled, which I really like. I know I have some scenery where just like one set of gates is modeled and that's it. My drone is not liking the scenery. So those are the Echo Gates. Let's go into this little bit of space here and see what this is all about. So it looks like just a seating area. Don't see any gates here really. A couple stores. I'm sure they connect to the Echo Gate, or Terminal 3 I should say, there. So it's like a little sitting area. And while I'm here, before I go on to Terminal 2 here, I'm going to go ahead and take another look out here outside. And again, you have lots of different construction materials around here. And I can't say that the stuttering is part of the scenery. I can't blame the scenery for that. I've seemed to be having some stutter issues ever since SU5 came out. I'm hoping that once SU 5.1 comes out, that some of that will be resolved. We have some people over here at the parking garage getting ready to cross the crosswalk. Different kinds of signs and signage, whatnot out here on the street side. In very well modeled vehicles as well, push carts, baggage cars, all kinds of stuff. However, it is not modeled in here. It's modeled outside. It looks very, very nice. I really like it. But that area, I guess you'd call it the ticketing area, is not modeled. Again, you have some buses. I like that you have some viewing areas outside here that's covered, because, you know, it rains a lot here in Florida, where you can look over the airport here. Little grass area with some hedges there. Very nice. Alright, let's go ahead and go back over here. This is actually a very nice terminal here. So this would be Terminal 2, the Delta gates. And this would be Air Canada, Delta, and WestJet. Again, Air Canada, Delta, and WestJet would come here to the Delta gates. And we come in here, in this middle section here is really nice. It also has an upper section. Not really sure what this area is for either, other than maybe just a waiting area for your flight or whatever. Looks like there might be some areas to purchase food, sit down. There's some tables to eat. A viewing area, obviously nice viewing area of the flight line out there. Again, more stores, people, Starbucks, if you like your Starbucks. I like that the majority of the spaces are modeled. It's space you can actually go into. You have the Delta 9 over there for that gate. You have the restrooms there in the middle. Let's see if this Starbucks is actually modeled. And it is. It's space that you can actually take your camera in and look around. Now, the one thing, and this isn't a gripe against MK Studios, but it's really against all airport sceneries. One thing that gets me is here they have people, even one person standing there. I'd like to see more people perhaps in line, but there should be some people behind the counter, like they're getting ready to take their order. That would definitely add to the immersion there, to have people here that are going to take the order. To parallel that, when you go to the gates, you're going over to the gate here, you don't have any gate agents here. It's just an empty desk. You have people out here. I'd like to see maybe a gate agent there, and maybe that's just me, I don't know. But let me know if that's something that would be a cool thing for them to add. I'd like to see them add that. Not that it's a deal breaker or anything like that. It's just one more thing to add to the immersion. Got some space over here. What is this? Looks like another place to eat. Tables. Again, a counter with nobody working there. Carpet. I apologize for the stutters. It is what it is. Okay, so that's the Terminal 2. And we'll go over here to Terminal 1, which is Alpha, Beta, and Charlie gates. For those gates, you have Air Canada. It says Air Canada, Yankee, Quebec, Bravo only, YQB. Those of you who know Air Canada, I guess you know what that means. Alaska, Allegiant, Avianca, Bahamas Air, Breeze, Caribbean, Copa, Frontier, Southwest, United, and Western Air. So those are the airlines that would be at Terminal 1. Terminal 1's a big terminal, so much like the Terminal 4 was, and Terminal E. Well, they're all. D was probably the smallest one. Anyway, Terminal 1 also has a U.S. Customs area located in there, so for international arrivals. So I know that the Charlie gates here, that there's a lot of Southwest here. I believe I've seen United Airlines down here at these side gates, like Charlie 4 and Charlie 2. Let's go ahead and go inside. Like that, you got lockers down there, doors with actual notices on them, trash cans down there. Really does add to the immersion having all that detail here. So you have all that great detail, but no one behind the counter. Oh well. Alright, I'll get off that. Again, much like we've seen in the others, notice that the carpets are different based on the terminal. The other terminal, it was blue. This one is more of like a gray color. Again, very nice. I'd never been to the Fort Lauderdale airport inside myself, so I can only assume, based on what I know from other scenery developers, that they go and do a site visit and get all that detail. So I would assume it would be, true to life, that the carpets would be like that. Again, another store. There's a space you can go into. I like the wood. That's very cool. I'll see if I can find some online pictures of this. And you have Charlie 1 over there. Again, this would be, I would imagine, how you get to the other terminals. Not modeled. But that's why model that area, right? It's just dead space. It's a walkway. Gates really look good. I mean, look at this detail here. That could actually look like a cord to hook up power to. Look at that air conditioner hanging on the bottom of the jetway. Just really looks sharp. I mean, really looks good. Really impressed with how good all this looks. You have stairs going up there. You have things underneath the terminals. On the ground floor, again, space you can go into. You have baggage carts there. I'm sure with as much detail as they have here, they did do a site survey before making the scenery. For those of you who watched FS Elite when they went out to do the site survey there at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, you can kind of get an understanding of what they do, which was really a neat, insightful 4 video set series to watch. Now notice in this terminal there isn't any carpet, it's all flooring, and the flooring is different. Again, adding to the uniqueness of each terminal. Auntie Anne's. My wife loves Auntie Anne's. Another area here with this seating area with tables and very nice Margaritaville. Okay, that'll be a popular spot. It's going over here to now the Bravo gates, and believe me, we're not done yet. I think we're getting close, but we're not done yet. So we'll go right through these windows right here. And this is the Bravo gates. I knew not to go through that other section because we had these eateries here, Burger King and Sergio's. Seattle's best coffee there. And even at that, it's a space. They have the shelves modeled. They have packages actually on the shelves. Look at that. Very nice. That versus what you see back here, which is just a picture. And that actually gets pixelated as you get in close. I realize not everybody's going to get in that close. They're just, if they're in at all, they're just going to walk by. But that is so cool. I love that. So if you're just walking by, making a video like I do. And you see that, so you can tell that those are individual packages there on that shelf as you're walking by. Not so much, not so important with the stuff up there against the wall. Alright, so that's the Bravo gates. Let's see what we got left here. Taking a look outside here. Again, lots of vehicles, lots of clutter, lots of equipment around. The gates just look awesome. We'll come over here to the Alpha gates now. And again, different carpet. We have flooring. People scattered about. Every single terminal has been very consistent. I really like that. They didn't skimp on anything here. It just looks really, really great. And they even have some art up here. It's not just a picture. Look at this. I can go right into the art. And it looks like there's seating up here. I wonder if people can actually come up here and walk and sit up here if they wanted to. I'm sure they must. I don't know why not. All right. Again, black doors. So, we'll go on outside. Let's look underneath. Must be some kind of workspaces or offices or something down underneath that one. And now we're in the Alpha gates. Got an information board. I see JetBlue there, so I'm assuming at least JetBlue comes in there. The Alpha gates. I like that you can get up here and you can actually read them. Up, I see Spirit up there. They got to come out with an update. Take the Spirit off the boards. I'm telling you, you got to stay current here, right? Immersion breaker. Just kidding. I'm just joking about that one. Okay. Again, consistent with the other terminals. That's all space you can go into. You have burgers there. No one's behind the counter to serve you though, so good luck trying to get your burger. Alright, I like that you have trains out here. So let's go ahead and go on down here and take a look at things. Have some vehicles and equipment down here. Love the fencing. Look at that fencing. That fencing's awesome. You have the warning signs mounted on the fence. No trespassing, no parking anytime. Very cool stuff. The only thing I wish that the trains were actually moving. That would be really cool. But the fact that they actually put tracks and trains out here rather than the flat stuff that we normally see from a Sobo is really cool. And you can see the blocks here that are built up for any airplane that might run off the end of the runway to stop it. I forget the name of the blocks, but I know what they kind of crush. They crush down and bring the airplane to a safe stop if it goes too long. Looks like some kind of law enforcement building here. A lot of different law enforcement vehicles. You have Howard County, or what is it? Is it Broward County Sheriff, okay. Fort Lauderdale Police. You can see some details spawning in as I go forward here. That may add a little bit to the stuttering here as I'm zooming around real quick. You know, things trying to render in. And, you know, I know developers do that to make their scenery more efficient. And that's totally cool. Most people are not going to be zooming around like I'm zooming around. This is a really cool area over here on this side of the airport. You have the trucks, you have the FedEx, you have the tanks, you have all kinds of good stuff over here. Depending on what kind of flying you're doing, but even if you're doing passenger airlines, it's just really cool to be able to see that as you're coming in for approach or taking off, whichever the case may be. Let's see, this is Delta Cargo, JetBlue, okay. Southwest Cargo. You know, airlines do carry cargo there in the baggage holes. So that looks good. Let's go on down. We have gates here. Got the barbed wire on top of the gate. Go over into this space here. Again, love the palm trees, love the trees. I'm sure that's part of the scenery here, because the trees actually are in the right spots and they're not coming up in the middle of the road. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That would never happen in a default scenery now, would it? Don't mean to rag on default scenery, but I really do love add-on airports. Have a nice hangar there. I did not see an option to add, maybe it did, I don't think it did, static aircraft. If it did, you might see actual airplanes around those areas and maybe even in the hangars. Again, another parking lot, has some trucks, cars, that type of stuff. Very well detailed. Just curious what kind of car that is there. This is a big airport, much bigger than I thought. National jets over here. You know, now I'm going to have to go back and look at my settings for this airport and see if I opted not to have static aircraft. I don't remember if that was an option or not. I did install this scenery back when it came out a few weeks back, and I did zoom around here and check it out. I was going to make a video at the time, but I was having some issues with my video. Now here's a static aircraft, it looks like. Of course, I have injected aircraft anyway, so my gates are full when I come in, and I try to do the max number that I can get. We have the VOR over here. This is at 10 left. So there's your VOR. They have like night lighting out here, so I don't know if this is like an area where the airport's going to be developing some more. I do want to go over this way though. This all does look like it's part of the airport. You see the bridge that actually goes up and over the highway here. You see the traffic going under the highway. I love the telephone or the power lines here. It's a little funky over here, the ground, but over here it's fine. So, train tracks. That'll be quite a hump for the train to get over. Again, just around. Look at the way it elevates here. So that's definitely modeled. You have grass going up there. You have the trees. Looks like you have a little harbor here. And this area is definitely not modeled. And I would say that the harbor area for the most part is not modeled either. Although the boats here are probably modeled. I'm not sure why the docks look the way they do. And then the ground outside, gravel, dirt road, or whatever this is here, does not look to be too well done. I like to see that cleaned up, and this cleaned up as well. Again, nitpicking. They really, this is who's going to come out here, right? Looks like they have the gate open here. You have a little small pond or lake there. Some concrete barriers over here to the side. Looks really good. Nice road. You got the power lines in there. So if you're coming down here like you're driving in, not that low. Look at that. Look at those power lines there. Looks awesome. Trees look great. Love the trees. This would be a view if you were driving in. Say you're going to the tower to go to work for FAA. Concrete barriers. You have your fencing over there to the left. You have your power poles with the power lines up there. Just really nice. Really immersive here. I like it. I know I'm using a lot of the same words to describe things here, but not sure what else to say, really. I mean, it's just really good. Really good job. They went to a lot of detail here. Just look really quick over here. And this is, I'm sure, a cargo area. And let's see. Let's take a look at the tower. So it looks like there's a different outdoor area that you can go into here and look around. Stand there and take in the view. We're going up. Oh, there it is. Look at that. The tower is in fact modeled. Oh, I love it. We got chairs in here. Nobody's working. Sorry. Airport's closed. Got some papers over here. Screens. A cup of coffee over there. A fancy cup of coffee. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that little design in the coffee. Even a mouse. You have a heart over here. Have some computer equipment that's disconnected and sitting on the floor over there. A laptop, HP, trash can, another cup of coffee, phone. Good stuff. Screens on the computer screens are a little bit blurry, fuzzy. But again, who's going to come in here and look that close, right? except me. Got a clock up here, more monitors. You can see all around the airport here. So with that, I give you MK Studios, Fort Lauderdale. And since it's the 250th anniversary of the United States, I will end by going to the United States flag. Hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. Look at that propeller there too. Does it say anything on the other side? Can you read it? You can. Dedicated to all the U.S. naval aviators who served at Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale. So this was a naval station before. Okay. And of course we have some weeds coming through the cracks in the bricks. That's something that happens. So with that, I will leave you. That is Fort Lauderdale by MK Studios. I hope you enjoyed the tour. And until next time.